Hello YouTube, today we're going to be going over my AR pistol build. I had a few questions about this on Reddit, so I thought I'd just do a quick overview of it and some thoughts and considerations when building an AR pistol. I put this together mostly as a truck gun. I wanted something that was a little more powerful, a little longer range than my concealed carry pistol, and this just made the most sense. Being as I have a lot of 223 and 5.56 ammunition and a lot of magazines for the AR platform already lying around, so there was no need to buy anything extra for that. Plus, all the controls are in the same place as my main rifle, so there's nothing to relearn, no training scars to deal with, nothing like that. Also, being as this is a rifle caliber, I'm still able to reach out at like 200 yards with this, even with an 11.5 inch barrel. I took it out the range and was hitting a 10-inch target pretty much 8 times out of 10 from a bench rest. So at 50 yards and in, which is the longest distance I ever plan on using this if I had to defend myself for any reason, it's more than accurate enough. And at 50 yards, that 223 or 5.56 has still got plenty of zip to it. Also, being a pistol, there's a lot of things you can avoid that you have to deal with an SBR. For one, being a $200 tax stamp, there was no need to pay that because this is not an NFA item. Plus, transporting it's a lot easier because you don't need your paperwork with you. And if you cross state lines, this is just a pistol, so unless you're going to a non-free state where the magazines or lack of a bullet button or something like that comes into play, you're still legal. Also, being as this is as compact as it is, it's easy to carry. I've got this bag here. I put the upper in the main compartment and then the lower in this hydration carrier pouch, and it has worked pretty good for me. I've actually done it for almost a year, and the only issue I've run into is that when removing the upper from the main compartment, I generally put it barrel up. You can sometimes grab the charging handle, and I've had one occasion where that pulled loose and dropped my bolt carrier on the ground. So luckily it wasn't a big deal. I was just at the range and gonna take it out, and so I just cleaned the bolt carrier off and went about my day. But it is something to consider. If I could find another pouch like this that was long enough for the upper, I'd just put it on the other side, but I haven't found anything that's quite long enough. And with this one, it sticks out about 3 inches, which kind of takes away some of the concealment of it. Again, that's said, mostly it's just size and convenience, because if you have a 16-inch gun, you have to have a much larger bag, or you have to be taking a 16-inch gun or its assorted parts out of your vehicle every day, which if you're moving it around, because sometimes I have to put this bag in the trunk for whatever reason because I need space in the car or in the truck or whatever, getting a 16-inch AR out can raise some pulses once in a while, depending on where you're at. Most of the time for me it wouldn't be an issue, but sometimes it would be. So I guess getting into the parts a little bit here, some of the philosophy, I went with an 11.5 inch barrel, and that was for a couple of reasons. One of them being that I couldn't find a 12.5 inch barrel, I guess, and make it cost effective. I did find some, but the cost it got a little ludicrous for what I wanted to spend on this gun. And I wanted to maintain the quality level, but I'm not made of money either, so I had to kind of make some concessions. What I ended up getting this for, this whole upper bolt carrier charging handle was only about $50 to $100 more than it would have cost me. Well, $50 to $100 less than it would have cost me to build with a stripped upper and a 12.5 inch barrel and all that. I really don't feel like I'm losing anything for that inch, and it is very handy. I was able to, with the 11.5 inch barrel, maintain a carbine length gas system, and that was kind of important to me because I wanted to reduce the recoil on this as much as possible, and that carbine length is a lot better than a pistol length would be. Also, because it's a carbine length, I'm not wearing out these internal parts as fast as I would with the pistol length gas system, and it gives me a little more room to grab out here without having a free float rail on this thing, which would have added more cost to it as well, besides just the free float rail, but also getting a front sight for this. This is just a Palmetto State Armory 11.5 inch upper. I picked it up on sale. I think it was like around $300, maybe a little less, maybe a little more. It did not come with the MAGPUL SL handguard on it. I had this lying around, so I put it on there. The regular handguards would have worked fine, but this gives me a little more room to grab out here. And it did require me to remove the front sling mount, but I just use this BLACKHAWK end plate here so I can connect up any single point that I happen to have lying around. I'm not a big fan of single points, but I do have one or two of them that I use for this kind of thing because it just works. The lower is an Anderson lower. I use Andersons for most of my builds just because they're cheap and they work. A lower is a lower is a lower. It's the internal parts is where you can kind of need to get worried about your quality there. This is a STAG arms lower parts kit. I picked it up from a local guy. I don't remember how much it was. I used a MAGPUL K grip for two reasons. One was it's small, which I thought was gonna be a problem, but actually you can see I have rather large hands, but it still fits quite well. And the second reason was I was able to combine shipping with it and the upper from Palmetto State Arm Race. That saved me a little bit of money. The buffer tube and brace, this is a KAK Industries SHOCKWAVE brace and buffer tube. I went with this just because, for one, it's a lot lighter than the SIG brace, and it also cannot rotate because it has a set screw and a bunch of dimples. So you can actually set how far you or what you want your length of pull to be on this brace, whereas the SIG brace just slides on there and it can slide back or up and or twist on you. I know they make spacer rings or whatever for it, but that just would add cost, and this works quite well. I can't shoulder it anyway, so right now it's kind of, it balances the gun and it looks aesthetically pleasing. The rear sight is a dam defense rear sight. I reviewed this in an earlier video. If you want to know more about that, go back and watch that video. Like I said, it's worked out quite well. I was able to strike targets at 200 yards. And that's pretty much all there is to say about this pistol. If you have any questions about it, leave a comment below and I'll do my best to answer it. If you found this video helpful or informative, please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.